Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Midnight Suns. Now, today is a bit of a different video. You would have thought that I've done a video like this before, considering how many Midnight Sun videos are on my channel right now, both mostly non-commentary, but also some other stuff as well. But no, I have not done one yet. And, with the final DLC probably coming out soon, I mean, this game came out, I think, like December 2nd, and the last DLC hero should be out, I think, pretty soon. They've been kind of releasing them every month, so, I kind of thought maybe I should put my 2 cents on what I think about the game, seeing that I've played over 150 hours, I think, of it, so I've played a pretty good amount of it. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into it. So, Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's marketed as a tactical RPG, which sounds pretty weird when you think about it, but it works pretty good, I would say. I'm a certain fan of certain RPG games, mainly like Bethesda games. I really like those kind of RPG games. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of the whole role-playing kind of games. So when I saw that this game had some of that, I was a little bit kind of... I don't know how I feel about it. But I saw that it was 2K and Firaxis Games making this, and I love Civilization, I love XCOM. So I was like, okay, well, the game's in good hands, at least. But, I don't know. We'll get our hands on it and see how it plays, I guess, and then we'll judge it fairly from there, right? So, long story short, I got my hands on Midnight Suns the day it came out. Actually, that might be a lie. I think the edition I got, didn't it come out like 3 days earlier or something like that? I'm pretty sure that's what it did, so I got early access to it. Regardless, I was super excited. I played the crap out of it, and I still play it like every now and then to this day. So that's a good sign. I know a lot of things that get categorized into like what's a good game is replayability, right? This game has a lot of replayability. Now, the only issue with some of the replayability is that some of it can get tedious, and it's not so much the fighting, it's it's usually everything to do with the Abbey itself, which is your base camp where all of the heroes are housed, and you have all your upgrades and the training and all that stuff. That part can get a little tedious. But I'm just gonna start with what I like about the game and what I don't really like about the game and what I think could maybe be improved or what's potentially coming in the future and what this game's future looks like. But we'll start with what do I like about Midnight Suns? Now, there's a few things that come to my mind when I think of things I like about the game. Uh, I like how comic accurate a lot of the characters are. Like, Eddie Brock, for example, is like spot on to like what he is in the comics, I think, for the most part. But I think they did a really good job with that and capturing how each character interacts with each other and what their morals are and all of that jazz. If you're really into RPG, you'll really appreciate that part of the game. Uh, some other things I can think of are the... Now, people complain because they're like, oh, it's a card game. I fully understand that because I'm not a huge fan of card games myself. Uh, like, believe it or not, I've maybe tried a couple just to see if it was something I like, and yeah, no, it's not for me. But Midnight Suns does have cards, quote unquote, in it, but the game doesn't really feel, it doesn't feel like a card game at all. It literally just feels like if XCOM was introduced with abilities and in like a card form instead of just like being able to just click on your abilities. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I explained that really well. Like in XCOM, for example, you have like your sniper, and you can choose to use your sniper, or you can choose the move, or you can choose to use the pistol. Whereas in Midnight Suns, it's like the same concept, except now they're in card form, so it's like you can choose to quick attack them, or you can choose to move over here, or you can choose to drop this environmental attack on them. It's like the exact same thing, just like reskinned pretty much, just into card forms, just to make each hero unique to themselves, so that, you know, rather than like XCOM, I'll just go back to, rather than having like 4 or 5 different classes, you know, each hero is unique, and there's like, what? There's probably like, how many characters are in the game right now? There's probably like 17, maybe? I don't know. That's a ballpark guess. And assuming there's gonna be a new character coming up here soon, which there should be, and it should be Storm. Speaking of that, I don't know when that's coming out, but it should be coming out soon. It's just gonna add more replayability to the game, more uniqueness. You know, she's gonna have her own abilities as well. Sure, some of them will be similar, like there's gonna be quick cards, obviously, but you know, there might be some new mechanics introduced, which is always a plus. Something else I really like about the game, I kind of like the simplicity of the war table. It's pretty nice. Like, there's random missions re-rolled like all the time. Uh, like you pick one, you play it, and then you come back and there's like a few new ones every time, which is pretty nice. They're usually all refreshed actually. Um, and it gives you the opportunity to like not have to bring the hunter on every mission if you don't want to. You can always, you know, play with different heroes. And with some of the DLC they've added, which have been phenomenal so far, lots of game health that they've been adding to the game with this new content, like the Whisper Web, for example. If you see a mission you want to play, but you don't want to bring Blade as the team leader, you can use the Whisper Web, change the team leader, and you can bring Wolverine instead, which is really nice. It's really cool. You can basically just assemble your own team that way. So, plus that. Another plus, I would say, is the customize features for the hunter. It's not super in-depth, like, and I'm thinking of like games like Skyrim, for example, where the customization for your character is a bit more in-depth, right? You can change the facial structure and all that jazz. Whereas in this, you kind of just add some face paint or change the color of your hair, change what they're wearing, that kind of stuff. Like, it's not too in-depth, but it's in-depth enough where it feels like your character's still unique, which is nice, because that's what they're going for. It's Marvel's first ever customizable character, right? So, props to them on that. Alright, now we're gonna go to some of the things I don't really care for in the game. There's actually not a lot, like, now that I think about it. I feel like the game as a whole is pretty good. I don't really know what I would rate it. I don't know, I might give it a rating at the end, I have no idea. I just felt like I kind of needed to get a video like this out there finally, just seeing that I have so many videos on it, and I've just been wanting to do this video for a while anyways. So let's start with the RPG. Now this is a little bit biased because I'm not a huge fan of RPG. Like I was saying, the RPG games I do like are Bethesda ones for the most part. So like Fallout and Skyrim, for example, I love those. I've played so many hours, so many different saves on those games. Just because they're so in depth and they do RPG very well. Like, they do it how it's in my view and how I like it, how they're supposed to do it. So when I saw this as a tactical RPG, I was like, oh boy, okay, well, let's see here. Hopefully it's not cringy and awkward at some points. Well, yeah, it's pretty cringy and awkward at some points. Some of the conversations are like really cringy or really awkward, and it's not so much like the talking, sometimes it's just like the pauses they have between, and like the it's basically, it's just not like, it's not like what's the word, it's not like fluid. It's, you know, your guy will say like a joke, and then Wolverine will just stare at you like, and then all of a sudden his head will just go like, and then he'll just start like talking. And admittedly, Skyrim and Fallout do that sometimes, which is kind of a charm of Bethesda games, but it's different in this because if you're like a Marvel fan and you want to see like, oh, these characters are so cool and stuff and whatever, and then you get like real awkward moments like that, it's just like, oh, okay, well, the story you were telling about how you came from Canada and stuff, for example, is really cool, but I can't help but like not focus on that. Because your head is just going like this, and then all of a sudden you're just like facing over here but like looking at me still, like like what are you doing? uh I find that part a little bit weird, and hope if they do make a second game they kind of fine-tune that a bit. um Overall though, when you're talking to the characters, it is interesting for the first time at least, and then when you keep playing the game, eventually sometimes you're gonna get the same conversations with these heroes, and I'd be like, yeah, I know, Captain Marvel, I've heard you talk about this before, literally in the exact same words. I don't need to listen to it again. So then you pretty much get to the point where you just don't even talk to them anymore. This is the tedious part of it. And you just do a mission, go sleep, come back, do a mission, go sleep. You don't even bother opening up your like your packs anymore or anything like that, or making combat items or training, because it's just like it gets so tedious towards the end where you're just like, all I want to do is just fight and play with these new characters. Like, that's all I want. That's the other thing I wanted to discuss. I really did enjoy like opening up your Gamma Accelerator, or that's not what they're called. I can't remember what they're called. The things that you get after completing a mission, you get new abilities or whatever. I forget what they're called. Maybe they are called that. I don't know. I'm brain farting right now. But you know, that's a cool concept, and being able to like craft items and do training and give each of your heroes like different abilities that way as well, like willpower so they can heal, or critical damage or chance, right, when you spar with them. That's cool. But like I was saying, it gets tedious because like you do a mission, you come back, you sleep, and then you wake up and you just want to do another mission, but you're like, like I gotta open those cards, and oh, I gotta discard some of them, and oh, I should upgrade that card, and oh, well, I forgot to put that card in my deck, and like, oh, they want to talk to me, and oh, now this person wants to talk to me because they want help with something which I probably won't help them with, or the reward is really pointless for it, so you go and talk to them anyways, and then you get to the war table, and then just like, oh, there's some skill essence over there I should go pick up, and then you go pick that up, and then you're like running around picking everything up, and then you're like, oh, I need another plant so I can craft this healing salve, and you gotta go pick plants just so you can make the healing salve that you want. All that gets really tedious very fast. It's a cool concept, but yeah, it gets quite tedious. I think the only difference between that and the fighting not getting tedious, which arguably the fighting is exactly pretty much the same thing every time, except with different goals, like defeating Nest Mother, or defeating all the opponents, or stopping the helicopter from lifting off. It's pretty much all the same thing. You fight people and you do the objective. However, it doesn't feel tedious because you are using your brain actually. Whereas when you're in the Abbey, you're just mindlessly running around doing all this stuff. But not only that, when you're actually fighting, you know, you get these cool animations and stuff too with the cards, and you never get sick of seeing them, and they're really awesome. So like, I don't know, I think hands down the fighting is really good in this game. Sure, they could improve it, but yeah, the RPG definitely needs some work. But it's there. It's okay, and it's, you know, overall not too much to complain about it, but like there is still quite a bit there that could be worked out a bit, in my opinion. Now, this all being said, does the game have a future? I think absolutely yes. After this season pass, they're probably gonna have another one. There's if you run around the Abbey, there's like obviously there's gonna be a door for Storm as well. But there's still, I think, 4 or 5 more doors that are unclaimed in the Abbey. So it's likely they're probably going to do another season pass of some sort and release their last batch of heroes or whatever. Who knows, they might even do more after that. But I'm kind of thinking they'll probably just do one more after this. See what people think of the game overall, because this was kind of a new step for them. Even though it is similar to their turn-based you know, strategy that they do with like Civilization and XCOM. It was fairly new for them because like now they're working with a big IP. Like not to say that Civ and that isn't a big IP, but like Marvel of all things, right? That's a big deal to a lot of people, and I think they just want to see how the game's received a bit. But they have stated like on, I think it was Twitter and stuff, that they do have plans to keep supporting their other games like Midnight Suns, despite there being rumors that there's a new Civilization game coming. Well, they have pretty much outright said there is, but they haven't said if it's the 7th game or if it's like another Beyond Earth or something. But regardless, they said, yeah, they're gonna keep supporting this game because, well, they really like this game that they've made. So, which is fair. I really like it too. So glad we're on the same page there. So yeah, I would say expect probably more content for this game in the future for sure. Following the Storm edition, and possibly expect a second game because I won't spoil the game if you haven't seen anything. But also I feel like, you know, you should probably, if you're interested in the game, go ahead. If you don't have the game for yourself, go ahead. I have literally videos on every single mission in the game. They're non-commentary, so you don't have to listen to this voice talking over it. You can just watch it as it happens, which is, I don't know, just how I decide to do it. But I won't spoil the ending, but basically the way the game ends, it leaves room for the potential of a second game. That's kind of where I'll leave that at. They could just, you know, leave it as is, and they wouldn't have too many consequences for that, like a one and done kind of thing, but they definitely could do a second game, and I think that's why they left it kind of open like that, just to get fans excited about it and maybe open up the doors to more audience and more people to play the game. So, hey, maybe look forward to that in a couple years, I don't know. But that's going to do it for this video. Yeah, it's a good game. I don't know if you're waiting to buy it. Here would be my rating for it. Not worth buying at full price. When it first came out, sure, because, you know, it was hyped up and it was really fun. Still is fun. But I feel like if you want to try this game now and you're really unsure about it, do not buy it at full price. Wait for it to get discounted. I'm pretty sure as of recording this, it's discounted 50% off right now. So it's only like $40 Canadian. I don't know what that would be American. Like 30 maybe. But that's a pretty significant chop to the price. So I would just wait for it to go on sale and try to get the DLC with it too, because the DLC, like I was talking about, adds actually quite a bit of like variance to the game. It adds a couple new actually enemy types. It adds, let's see here, who was the one in that one? I think it adds 2 to 3 new bosses. No, it adds 2 new bosses that you can fight. New environments, new story missions, new characters, new upgrades for the Abbey, new cosmetics, new, you know, team-ups, obviously, because of the new characters. There's a ton of new stuff that comes with the DLC that was, like, really good for the game. Like, it improved the game a lot. So that would be kind of my final rating, vaguely, or what I would suggest if you're still on the fence about getting the game. It's worth a try. It definitely is. But maybe wait for it to go on sale. I just don't feel like paying $80 or $90 Canadian is worth it at this time. But if you wait for that sale, yeah, that's a pretty good steal, and I would definitely hop on that just to try it out. At least that way, if you don't like the game, you didn't spend that full amount like I was talking about. But I think overall, you're not going to know unless you try it. But watch a couple videos on it. I have lots of different gameplay on it, so you can find that on my channel if you want to see kind of more what it's about, or what the story's like and how it runs, how it paces itself, what the combat looks like, all of that stuff. Give it a look. And then, yeah, that'd be my rating. Honestly, let's just give it an actual rating. I'm going to say about a 7 out of 10 for me, which is a good game. I don't know. Arguably, like, even a 6 is like a decent game, but like it would still. I would say it's better than that though. It's probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. It's a solid game. It does what it says it does, and that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say about it, but you've heard me talk long enough here, so let's wrap this thing up. But anyways, guys, if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, and you will likely see more Midnight Suns content in the future. You will see lots of different content, actually, and if you turn that bell on, it'll notify you when I have new releases. If you liked this video or found it helpful in any way, feel free to leave a comment. Even that too, comment what you think of the game or how you would rate the game. What's your favorite parts? What's your not so favorite parts of the game? But yeah, leave a thumbs up too if you like this video. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome day.